Guys, hope all of us are doing great. This is Honest Sciences and Mathematics TV channel. I'd like to invite each and every one of our members to join us through the link that I'm going to put in our description boxes. And of course, there's a list of playlist of other videos which are related to this, of course, discussion, basically in biology and then in mathematics, physics, and chemistry, and other related topics. So today we're going to look at the brainstem. And in our discussion about various, of course, parts of the human brain, I had mentioned that this basic part of the brainstem consists of three regions. And we're going to look at these three regions and this specific order. So the first one is going to be the medulla oblongata, which is going to be a region that is most inferior portion of the brainstem. This medulla oblongata is located inside the cranial valves of the magnum foramen. And of course, that is part of the skull that we had mentioned in our discussion on the human skull. So in this case, it's going to be forming a continuous part of the spinal cord. And of course, it's going to consist of various ranges of nerves, as we're going to see later. And of course, this is going to be forming some special functions or involved in the special functions of regulation of heartbeats, blood vessel diameter controlling, and then it's going to be involved in some activities like swallowing, coughing, sneezing, and balance and coordination. So in this particular case, as we are going to see, this particular part of the brainstem is going to be an important part. And in our discussion about the concept of gaseous exchange, I had mentioned that this particular section of the brain, which is a medulla oblongata, is going to be heavily involved in that particular activity and its regulation. And then we're going to have this particular section, which is going to be referred to as the pons. This pons is situated, or rather it's superior to the medulla oblongata, and then it's going to be also containing some different types of nerves, as we're going to see later, or in these specific sections being illustrated. And of course, they're going to be also taking part, this particular section of the brain is going to be taking part in some activities like swallowing, balance, and also into trying to control activities such as chewing, swallowing, and other forms of activity like the medulla oblongata that we have said about breathing. So we're going to see that the bones is going to form a vital part of the or rather the brainstem. And of course, together with the medulla oblongata, they are going to coordinate in, of course, trying to ensure that activities are being, of course, coordinated together with the brain in different parts of the body through this particular spinal cord. So in the next, and of course, lastly, we're going to see that this brainstem is going to consist of this section that we refer to as a midbrain. And of course, the midbrain is going to be superior to the bones, as we can be able to see from this specific illustration. And it's going to be the smallest region of these three parts of medulla oblongata, bones, and the midbrain of the brainstem. So therefore, this is going to be the smallest region in comparison to the two that we have looked at. And the function of the brainstem basically is going to be trying to control some activities and coordination of some activities like the eye movement. And of course, it's going to be controlling the diameter of the pupil in vision, as we're going to see later in our discussion. And of course, it's going to have some essential parts which are of interest that we're going to look at later in our detailed discussion. So basically, I presume or I hope that you have understood the various functions of this particular section that we refer to as a brainstem. And in case we come across them or mention them, I'll be putting a link of this specific video to assist us understand on the same aspect of those. So this specific section is found in this lower region and the middle part of the brain. And of course, it's going to constitute various parts which are being connected using the ascending and descending nerves and other, or the nuclei, as we're going to see later. So catch us in our other videos by visiting our description boxes of various videos for our link. And we'll stop there for now. That is it. So bye, God bless.